Welcome to the only corner of my room that has decent lighting. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie, or thanks for joining us if you're new here. Sorry I've been a little bit AWOL. I have been starting a new job, I was moving, and I'm getting a car, so life has been a little chaotic lately, and then my brain has just decided to not cooperate with us on top of that. So we're getting through it. We're gonna get to the other side. I believe that we can get there. Today, I thought we would talk about all the books that I have out from the library right now, because I have a problem where I can't just go and look. I always end up with 25 books for some weird reason, and then I'm in a desperate rush to try and finish them all before they have to go back to the library. So I thought it would be fun to do a little check-in, little TBR, kind of let you guys know where I'm at while I'm getting back into the hang of making videos for y'all. Alright, so we'll do physical books first, and then we'll move on to the ones that I have on my Kobo. So the first one that I have that I am planning on reading is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. First, I would just like to appreciate, why did they put this sticker right across the title? I actually sent this to my mom, who's a librarian, and I was like, please tell me you don't do this. This is a sin. This should not be allowed. Why not on the side, out of the way? I don't know. It's a whole thing. I haven't read this book, and I do want to watch the show, and I am a big Neil Gaiman fan. I know my mom got about 50 pages in and then bailed on it, so we'll see. For those of you who don't know what it's about, the description is, locked behind bars for 3 years, Shadow did his time, quietly waiting for the magic day when he could return to Eagle Point, Indiana. A man no longer scared of what tomorrow might bring. All he wanted was to be with Laura, the wife he deeply loved, and start a new life. But just days before his release, Laura and Shadow's best friend are killed in an accident. With his life in pieces and nothing to keep him tethered, Shadow accepts a job from a beguiling stranger he meets on the way home. An enigmatic man who calls himself Mr. Wednesday. A trickster and a rogue, Wednesday seems to know more about Shadow than Shadow does himself. Life as Wednesday's bodyguard, driver, and errand boy is far more interesting and dangerous than Shadow ever imagined. It is a job that takes him on a dark and strange road trip and introduces him to a host of eccentric characters whose fates are mysteriously intertwined with his own. I think the only adult book by Neil Gaiman that I've read is Good Omens, which is written by him and Terry Pratchett, so I'm kind of interested to dive into some more of his adult writing. The font is really heckin' tiny, so I feel like this one will take me a while, but it's later on my list of things that are due back, so hopefully I should have enough time to get through it before it is due. The next book I have is Pulp, which is by Charles Bukowski, and the reason I got this one is because I'm always saving quotes by Charles Bukowski, but I've never read anything by him. I would also like to appreciate that I just opened this and it says it is dedicated to bad writing, because same. I love that. I love the author took the time to be like, yeah, this is dedicated to books that are not well written. But yeah, I figured I've had some good luck and some bad luck with reading books whose quotes that I shared, but we will see. I'm actually not even really sure what it's about. I just kind of plunked in Charles Bukowski's name and saw what my library had. The description for this is, opening with the exotic Lady Death entering the gumshoe writer Cd's office in pursuit of a writer named Celine, this novel demonstrates Bukowski's own brand of humor and realism, opening up a landscape of seamy Los Angeles. Sounds interesting to me. It's not too thick, seems manageable. We'll add that to the list. And then the other Charles Bukowski one I got, and this was a complete accident, is it's called On Cats. A raw and tenderly funny look at the human-cat relationship. To be fair, I'm more of a dog person, but I am supposed to be driving home for my birthday, and that's an almost 4-hour drive, so considering this is on CDs, might give me something to listen to in the car, and, you know, maybe instead of music, I'll dabble my toes in the audiobook genres like I have with a Song of Achilles. Maybe I'll change my mind and become an audiobook listener. I don't think that's gonna happen, but we'll see. And then there is one other book that I'm waiting for, and I can't remember where I saw a review of this. I think it was on Noelle Gallagher's channel. I can go and pick it up. The libraries here are still doing curbside, so I can go and pick it up I think early next week. And it's called, they said this would be fun, Race, Campus Life, and Growing Up. And it's a memoir about what it's like to be a student of color on a predominantly white campus. And it's about a university near Toronto. It's Western University. Maybe, actually, I think it was Plant-Based Bride's video, because I feel like she was putting together like her reading journal, and she had a whole spread dedicated to this book and how interesting and eye-opening she found that it was to read about what it's like to be a black student on a predominantly white university campus. I don't go to the same university, but I'm also on a predominantly white university campus, so I think it's really important to keep in mind the ways that that's shaping the experiences of other people who are going here. And as someone who like works and is in a leadership role on campus, that's something that I want to make sure that I'm trying to role model. So with those books done, we can now transition into all of the books that I have checked out on my Kobo. And these are the ones that are coming up due first, so I have to get through all of these, then all the physical ones, and then somewhere in there I also need to make sure I read all the actual books that I own that I haven't got to yet. It's a problem. I need help. So the one that I'm in the middle of right now is Every Day by David Leviathan, and it follows this individual who goes by A, and they wake up every single day in a new body, and this is something that's been happening like ever since they were a baby, and all of a sudden they fall in love with this girl and they want to keep being with her, but they're trying to figure out how that is feasible while their body is consistently changing. I wanted to read it because Two Boys Kissing is one of my favorite books, and it is by David Leviathan. I haven't read anything else by him, but I'm not really like blown away by it. I'm kind of trying to figure out where it goes. We'll see. It's an adventure. I feel like I've also haven't been reading YA, so I'm just like trying to like get my brain back into the YA genre, but I feel like there's something about summer that just gets me with the YA vibes. I don't know if it's because like they're usually a little bit quicker, a little bit lighter to get through. I don't know. After that, I have a complicated love story set in space, which is by Sean David Hutchinson, who wrote We Are the Ants, and that was probably one of my favorite books that I read last summer. So I'm really looking forward to reading something else by him. So the description of this book is one Noe closes his eyes on Earth and wakes up on a spaceship called Curiosity just as it's about to explode. He's pretty sure things can't get much weirder. Things can't get much weirder. I can speak English. Trapped aboard Curiosity are also DJ and Jenny, neither of whom remember how they got on board the ship. Together, the three of them all face the dangers of space, along with murder, aliens, a school dance, and one really, really bad day. But none of this can prepare Noah for the biggest challenge, falling in love. As his feelings for DJ deepen, he also has to contend not with the challenges of the present, but also with his memories of the past. Love is complicated enough without also trying to stay alive. I really love it because it's kind of like queer sci-fi type thing, and that's very much what we got with We Are the Ants, so I'm hoping that this one will be just as good. I'm pretty sure it just came out in January or February, and it's been on my TBR for a while, so I'm really looking forward to getting to read that one. After that, I have Goodbye Again, which is a memoir by Johnny Sun, or I guess it's a collection of essays, and that's on my TBR list for the Asian Readathon, which I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get to all of them, but he also wrote Everybody's an Alien When You're an Alien Too, which is also one of my favorite books. See, there's a trend here. I'm like following the authors that I really love. So I'm super looking forward to reading this one. It's also a new release. It just came out in April, and I was super lucky that my library already had an e-copy of it, and I was able to get it pretty soon. So that'll definitely be on one of the ones that I will try to get to before May is over, so then maybe I can get at least 3 of the Asian Readathon that I was trying to do done. Next one I have is another YA, and I think I saw it on Aiden Thomas's Instagram. I think they shared an image of it. He's another author as well, but it sounds really fascinating to me. It's called The Cost of Knowing, and it's by Brittany Morris. So it follows 16-year-old Alice Rufus, who seems to have the ability that when he touches objects or a person, he can see into the future. And like obviously that's really terrifying for him, but then one day he touches this picture of his brother and he sees his brother's death. So now he's trying to grapple with the past, the future, and it also says in the description with what it means to be a young black man in America in the present. So I think some of those themes of you know, racism and police brutality, I get a sense, are probably going to come up in this book, which I think, you know, we need so much more literature that deals with these difficult topics, especially for youth, so that they can see their experiences reflected and know that they aren't alone, but also that there's hope on the other side of this. So it seems like a really beautiful, if completely heartbreaking story that I'm really looking forward to the chance to read. I think I have two more left. This one is The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper, which I also saw shared by an author. Maybe it was Aiden Thomas. I can't remember. It follows a successful social media journalist with 500,000 followers, and this is 17-year-old Cal, and he's using this to share his life online. When his pilot father is selected for a highly publicized NASA mission to Mars, Cal and his family relocate from Brooklyn to Houston and are thrust into a media circus. Amidst the chaos, Cal meets sensitive and mysterious Leon, another Astro kid, and finds himself falling head over heels fast. As the frenzy around the mission grows, so does their connection, but when secrets about the program are uncovered, Cal must find a way to reveal the truth without hurting the people who will become most important to him. Expertly capturing the thrill of first love and the self-doubt all teens feel, debut author Phil Stamper is a new talent to watch. So it's like NASA and space, but with that queer YA twist. Another one that sounds super exciting and that I've heard great things about, so I'm also looking forward to checking that one out. And then the very last book that I have is another YA book that is also done by David Leviathan, and this is his brand new one that just came out this year. It's called The Mysterious Disappearance of Aiden S. So Aiden disappears for 6 days, and then he just suddenly reappears, and he seems to have this impossible story of where he's been the whole time, but it's what he's sticking with. Everyone starts to kind of tear into him and taunt him, and his brother wants to believe him, but everyone's saying that he's making this up to disguise the fact that he ran away. And it ends by saying, but how can you believe in the impossible when everything and everyone is telling you not to? So I think it's going to be kind of an interesting way of using these parallels of some sort of, I'm guessing, supernatural, maybe fantasy element, and kind of dealing that with grappling with the realities of being a teen and growing up and kind of feeling like no one is listening to you and your story and what's happening to you. So I'm also really looking forward to reading that one. It seems to be fairly short as well. It seems to be a common theme with David Leviathan's books, but either way, I love his writing, even if this everyday one isn't necessarily my favorite, so I'm more than looking forward to checking out other books that he has written. I think that's everything that I have for you guys today. I know this video is a little bit all over the place, not the most exciting video that I've done, but I did just want to kind of dive back in and give you an idea of where I'm at with all my reading and everything that's going on. If you guys have any suggestions for videos that you'd like to see over the summer months, just drop me a note down below and I can do my best to get to them all. Thank you so much for being so patient with me and for coming on this journey with me, and until the next video, stay kind.